Hi, everybody. Here we are at the Stronghold in Petaluma, California. Really glad to see you today, and we've got people streaming into the room here, and they're streaming in, and we're streaming out. So we're glad to be here today. And what we want to do is if you are already on, have registered and logged in, and if you can hear my voice, please go ahead and use the chat function on your computer. Let us know who you are, where you're at, and if anybody there is there with you, so we kind of get a head count and know who we're talking to. Because it's one thing to be talking to a room with people in it and a camera. It's another thing to know the faces that are out there tuning in today. So we're excited about that, and I think today is going to be a day for dreaming. And we're going to talk a lot about that, about people know what to do, but we want to really focus again on why we do what we do and why we do that. But first, we're going to start with what is this dang thing, you know? And if you're a guest here, if this is your first time being exposed to this business, then please, you're gonna have a great time. If you want to write some things down, if you're already an IBO and want to take some notes, because I'm going to introduce my favorite IBO, and we've been business partners for 25 years almost. I think it's next month or this month. This month is probably our 25th anniversary. And can you guess who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's Chris Sennett. So come on out.
Great. All right, is that the camera right there?
Yes.
Am I looking at you? Am I? All right, great, awesome. So people in the room and people out there, yeah, please.
Okay.
I'm going to explain. It's going to be about a half hour. Alan's going to do some timekeeping for me. Let me know every 10 minutes, how many more 10 minutes I have. It doesn't take a long time to plant a seed, right? We're just going to plant a seed today. And if you are fertile ground, if you are ready to grow and change in some aspect of your life, that's what we're doing today. We're planting the seed. What you do with it, totally up to you. There's been a phenomenal change in my life. Overnight, no, this is not like winning a lottery. This is a business. It's not get rich quick. And I wasn't really looking to win a lottery, but I wanted change in my life. I wanted some important changes around time and money. So my goal today is to give you the rationale that you will come to with your own accord, that there is absolutely no reason why you shouldn't do this, participate on some level. On some level, there's really no reason why you shouldn't participate in this business model. And I'm going to start with what needs to change. Some people like me, it's usually needing more time, needing more money, needing better quality in relationships. I'm just going to say that's three of the things that I believe most people, when it comes down to it, they say, wow, if I had the time I needed along with the cash flow and the right people I want in my life, wow, I could invent something just beautiful for me. And that today's an invitation to do that. And actually, it's a requirement. Something needs to change in your life if you are going to take on a new endeavor. That's why we do pretty much anything, is because we want some kind of result. All right. It's going to be an invitation to do some long-term thinking rather than the short-term thinking. Short-term actions like working for a paycheck, cleaning your house, going through the week of tasks that you have, getting through the monthly bills. Those are all short-term things that are important. They achieve a goal. But I had to learn to think long-term. What do I want my life to look like in about 5 years? And wouldn't you know it, right? In 5 years after Bruce Bond, who was our CPA, said, hey, we want to look at some options for increasing time and money quality of life. And we said, yes, I want to look. He said, great, let's take a look. Turned out it actually created some amazing changes for us. And so that's what the invitation is today. You'll find out there's really no reason you shouldn't participate in this on some level. after we go through the details of this business. So excuse me while I look back at my notes, because I want to make sure I cover all the important things. So time and money. Let's just start with money. If I gave you a big pile of money, so right in front of you right now is a big pile, it's $1 million. Big pile of money right there, it's yours. So does that pile of money make you happy? Does it make you happy?
Yeah.
Lee's happy.
Only
Are you
spend
happy?
it.
You're happy.
I'm happy here. Yeah.
Now, if I can tell you, you can only look at it, you can only play with it, you can only put it in boxes,
Not happy.
but you cannot do anything else with it. You can't turn it into anything else. Are you happy then?
No.
No.
Is it worth anything?
No.
It's not. So big pile of money is not worth anything. It's what that gets you. It's what that gets you, right? So we're going to explore that. What does a big pile of money, what does $1 million get you? And what makes you happy if you have a pile of $1 million that you can turn into something valuable for yourself? Let's look at time. So what is all, you say, I'm just so busy, I need more time. I gotta tell you, being a professional myself, and how many of you, time is just something people crave these days.
Yep.
How many people do you hear, and maybe it's coming out of your own mouth, you say, it's just crazy, I just don't have time. I was talking to a family back in the Midwest, and she said, oh, I'm quitting my job because I'm working 50 hours a week because I don't have any time, but gosh, but then when I'm done with that job, I'm going to have to be doing all this. I have to be doing that. In her mind, she was never, ever going to have time. Time meant I need to fill it with some more work, right? So some of us need to reinvent what time means for us. If you're short on time, this is for you. I'll tell you again, if you're short on time, this business model is for you, and it may very well be the only business model that will create cash flow in your life beyond what you're doing now, if you're short on time. If you got lots of time, you can pick up some part-time jobs and get a little more cash flow going. If you want a dramatic change in your financial situation, then that takes some time leverage, and this is the only business I know of that will provide that. So again, there is no reason you shouldn't participate in this business model in some level after you learn about it more today. So we're going to turn that pile of money into something, and what that looks like is whatever you want it to look like. I know that there's typically about 9 reasons that people have, research tells us, start a business endeavor or a new job or get married or do anything that requires a change. There's about 9 reasons. I'm gonna read those off to you, and you might be familiar with some of these. So starting a new business, a little bit extra money, being your own boss, a chance for independence, to control your time, a chance to succeed, peace of mind, security, stability, helping others, having economic freedom, or leaving a legacy, making a difference. Now, I'm just going to pick a couple of those because I can't talk to you about what will motivate you and you and you to build this business to a significant level. I don't know. I want to be surprised by it. I want you to be surprised by it, because I'm guessing you don't even know what you would do with unlimited time and money, or with an amount of cash flow and enough time to really explore life in a new way. That's your job. That was our job, to find out what would that look like. So I can tell you from years and years that Ellen and I have spent talking to people who start their business outside of their regular job. They're looking for, often if I'm talking to someone 50 plus, they've been hit by this reality that retirement is not going to be coming to them in the vision that they thought when they were in their 20s. Hello, Jeff. Welcome. So it doesn't take too much in the news today. You can see all kinds of things. You can read Bloomberg Business. You can go through Financial Times. You can look at your 401k report, or if you don't have one, you can just look online and just Google retirement prospects. Find out what's going on in the world right now with this large population called baby boomers, which I am one of, and what people are saying, what are our prospects of living a lifestyle that is satisfying to us without going to a job. That's called retirement, right? And I'm going to tell you, all of us will retire someday. You're either going to get too old to work, too sick to work, or you're going to get fired and no one will rehire you. Or number 4, you're going to choose to retire on your terms, right? So that's the option I'm talking about. Choose to retire on your terms. Why are people concerned about that so much? Even if people have been able to save scads of money, what's the return on a savings account today? You can put it on the chat.
Not much.
Less than 1% at the credit union. It's 0.9%. 1.5% maybe. What's the rate of inflation? 3%, 3 to 4. That means that pile of money in your savings account is dwindling in actual value. It's better than not having savings. But people who've been examining their financial prospects for some time or have been to a financial planner, they have come to realize this, that it's better than a big, hole in the ground with nothing, but it is not keeping up with your needs. How about your big fat 401k or your IRA? How many people have a big fat 401k, IRA, or any at all? If you've been in a position where you've had an employer or you've been contributing to a retirement account, 401k, sometimes people think, wow, I got $500,000 in my IRA. And I just hope it doesn't do what it did about 7 years ago and turned into about 1/3 of what the value was. But at its best, your retirement account, when you pay taxes on it, if you have $1 million, what's it after you pay taxes? What do you really have? 650,000. So that's another one of those false comforts that people have. Oh, I've got my IRA, I've got my savings account. What's another thing that people rely on? People rely on being able to just stay in their job and moving up in their job as long as they want. People hope to maybe keep moving up in a company. People get more education and take on education debt in order to find a better job. How's that been working out? My friend Susan Strong pointed out some research that said, statistically, people with the higher education do not have an equal amount of higher income and lifestyle related to the money that they put into their education. Absolutely, education is important. I love education. I've been an educator. But that is not the ticket to financial freedom, is education. There are many, many very broke professors, many, many very broke nurses with master's degrees who will be working until they're 70. Okay, so again, we have to rethink. We were taught that education and a good job together led to a lifestyle. And things have changed now, haven't they? Just because of how the economy is working, turns out that the American Society on Aging says that people are going to have to trailblaze new retirement models. Just a blog by American Society on Aging, helping to educate people in their 40s and older about how to get ready for what's coming. And pretty much they're telling us that most baby boomers' total retirement savings is just over $125,000. How long would $125,000 last you? All you have to do is
Depends on what you're doing.
yeah, and, if you're living with 3 other families in an apartment, maybe you could eke it out, but it's just the writing's on the wall. There needs to be a new strategy. Well, this has not been news. This new strategy has been around for as long as companies like Amazon has been around. My gosh, who are some of the forerunners in internet business? eBay. How about even just the social media? That goes way back to something called MySpace that, that your kids don't even know about because it's so old. So there's been this movement, changes in technology and in how information flows in our society, but has our thinking kept up with that? Or are we still thinking in the old economy? I need to do something for a job and get a paycheck and stock as much as I can away, and then at some point that lasts me for the rest of my life. That's not working today, right? So what we are doing here is we're combining the power of the internet, which eBay made it very clear to us, Amazon made it very clear to us, is never going backwards, it's only going forwards. More and more people will be accessing goods online. Why? Because why pay a store the cost of going to a store when that manufacturer is happy to send it to you? They make money, you make money, and you skip all the cost of a brick and mortar store. So why not? That makes total sense. You got lots of choices online, and people are extremely savvy. An 8-year-old can learn to order your groceries for you online. Seriously, right? So how about quality? I'm going to talk about, these are the basics of how our business model, we have goods and services. Used to be brick and mortar. Now I'm going to explain to you this new economy, how it works, and why there is absolutely no reason you shouldn't participate on some level in this business model. It's online, quality. A friend of Alan's said, I realized I needed some vitamin C the other day. I said, I've been reading, I should take a vitamin C. So he went online. He said, so I figured I'll just buy it online. And he went in there and he said, wow, I got like a half a pound of it for like $40. He said, well, that sounds like a good deal. So he ordered it. And just as he was pressing click, he looked over at source. It says, made in China. Could be fine, but would you want to risk it? So that means he had no idea, no guarantee on the quality of this product that he needed to make him healthier, help him feel better, but there was no guarantee of quality. Unfortunately, there was no return, and after he clicked, there was no way to get his money back. Okay, so how about a guarantee? A guarantee. What's a suitable guarantee for buying products online? A month?
30 days.
30 days? Pretty common. Let's take that and let's make it 180 days, right? 180 day satisfaction guarantee. How about to your door? Okay, so it saves you some time. Or on some stores, maybe you prefer to pick it up. Some of our stores you can do that with. What else would you like to have in that? How about access to brick and mortar stores that are offering online? How about to big name stores? How about to discounts with Apple? How about with Best Buy? How about with Target? How about I can't give up my Target. I love Target. Great. So we have access to the big box stores and some regular brick and mortar stores as well. But I'm going to look at this. How about a product line that fits what people are looking for these days? Organic, clean, green homes, health and wellness, huge market for health and wellness, a growing multi-billion-dollar business, and health and beauty. People pay a lot of money to look better, to feel better, and to have clean, non-toxic homes. Let's just take those 3 areas. And let's rely on a manufacturer that's been in business for 70 years in nutrition, completely organic nutrition, 50 plus years in organic, clean, green home care products, and top 5 prestige skincare lines in the world by independent researchers. Top 5 skincare. Pretty good. We've got health and wellness. We've got home care. We've got cosmetics and skincare. Oh, once in a while we have sneezing. Thank you. So if you were to pick out 3 segments of the economy that were not something that gets bought once in a while, that gets bought, consumed, and purchased again, that's a good area to be in business in, correct? That's where Walmart became gazillion billionaires, families, right? That's our Costco's, the things that people will use up over and over again. So let's agree that that's a good model. That's one of the reasons that there's no reason to not participate in this model on some level. Okay. So we've got these products lines, and who all can provide that? Honestly, when you go here, Amazon can do this. Amazon's got some quality products. Their products have variable guarantees. Amazon can deliver to your door, and you can buy virtually from any store out there through Amazon. Amazon's a gateway. They're not just a book company anymore. I know you already know that. They are a little bit of, they're a brilliant way to catch a little bit of money off of everything that moves online. That's what Amazon does. They get a little bit of money. That's their idea. They just want just a little bit of money off of everything that moves online, and they have figured out how to do that pretty well, right? So Amazon can do this. They can do this. They can do this. They can do this. And they can do this. Yes. When it comes to 2 things that you will only get through our business model, it's going to be this: exclusive products that can only be purchased through our company. You cannot buy these on Amazon. You cannot buy these in a store. And that means that they can only be purchased online. You can buy them at wholesale for a very nominal annual fee, way less than a Costco membership. You can get these at wholesale to your door. Products that will have the best guarantee out there. But we're going to add something. Even if I could buy these on Amazon, let's add that other thing. Can you get a life-changing financial boost through Amazon?
Nope, not happening.
I'm welcoming anybody to tell me how to make money on Amazon. I know you can make a little money on eBay. You learn how to sell products. But this is the part, these 2 parts down here are the reason that you should participate in this business model. Okay. Just 2 of the reasons. So let's talk about that. How do we take a exclusive product line, combine it with access to some of the big box stores that you already know, and add a compensation plan to it, and have you create $57,000 a year? I'm just picking that number because that is the average income of someone who helps about 50 to 150, no, that's a wide range, households access these products on a regular basis. Correct? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to talk about. How does that work? It works because people want right now more than ever, they want to change. And so when we go back to those 9 reasons I talked about, and we talked about this end of the scale, the baby boomers who are kind of facing that tunnel, and there's a light, and it is a train coming at them, for the old saying. And they are desperate for a chance. Now let's talk about people that they don't even care about that. They're like, I mean, when you were 25, were you thinking about, your retirement options, income? No.
Not even a 5-year plan.
No, we don't. That's not how I was when I was in my 20s. So if you're in your 20s, if in your 30s, the things that will create that amazing lifestyle and retirement options for you at whatever age you decide to pick, right now it probably is going to appeal to you on more the level of the choices you have in your life and a chance to succeed. That is probably the most common thing that we hear people say in the younger age. I just want a chance. I want a chance. I say, what do you mean? Why is it somebody that is got a bachelor's degree and they're working at, as a respiratory therapist, why are they saying, I just want a chance? I said, well, Ma, don't you have it? You went to school, you've got a job, you're probably making, $70,000 a year. what they're realizing is that for them to expand their choices and their options out of what that $60,000, $70,000 a year gives them, they have to give up the thing that they are already running out of. What's that?
Time.
Their time.
Yeah.
That is how the job works. You put in some hours, you get paid. You put in some hours, you get paid. Put in some hours, you get paid. Hours paid, hours paid, hours paid, hours. And then next month you start over and over and over again. Over and over again. Who does that?
Not by choice.
Yeah. That's how we were raised, right? But remember, this is a new economy. Things are different. If you think differently, you can take advantage of this business model, which relies not on how much time you have, it relies on your ability to think and tell a story. Think and tell a story. What's the story? I'll tell you our story. Our story was married, 2 kids, jobs, working, decent income, finally squeezed our way into a home. And then we want to educate the children. Oh, wow, we've run out of money. The mortgage, the trips that were few, but we took a few, the bills, that had taken up all of our income. And now something very important to us came up and we said, well, we had no more money to do that. And that's the time when we decided this work hours, and then try to get what you can out of it. That's not getting us what will make our family happy. So I have to back up. Where was I? Yeah, he's like, I have no idea where you are. Oh, our story. That's our story.
Changing your thinking in a story.
Tell your story. So first came as that was our problem. I said, I would like to change it if I could. We have this opportunity shown to us to market goods and services online, become an entrepreneur, learn to think differently, learn to access things online. I mean, it's like a no-brainer. Yeah, I'm already doing all of those things. And our story this came into our life. We were able to pay for our children's private education and then pay for college and then pay for mortgage and get rid of debt and create amazing options and take a 5 to 6 day work week down to a 2-day work week. Big change for us. And the best thing about it is that doesn't have a cap. If you are in a position where you have an income that relies on a certain number of hours, you can work overtime. But when is that ceiling? When do you hit it?
No more hours in the day.
24 hours. You're right. At about 24 hours. If you could work 24 hours a day, wouldn't matter. You're going to hit that ceiling at some point. So that became our story. Well, what's your story? What issue in your life would be affected by having more cash flow, having more time, having the money to do things with that time? I'll leave that up to you. That's the story that you'll develop. Let's talk about where the money comes from and what you need. What you need to create this income. So I'm going to leave out $57,000. So everybody knows there's plenty of things you can get. Well, thank you. There's plenty of things you can get online. But let's stick with exclusive products that are created. Our provider, 50 to 70 years in business. The Nutrilite Company, 70 years in the business. Legacy of Clean, 55 years in the business. Artistry, 60 years in the business. These are all owned by a company that is the #1 direct selling company in the world, Amway Corporation. Direct sales, when I grew up, meant someone who came down the farm road, knocked on the door and offered to sell some drink mix or some shoes or something. That was direct sales as I knew it. Direct sales now, totally different thing. It's online, it's fast, it's sharp, it creates billions and billions of dollars. So accessing a couple $100 worth of those products that you need and you buy. You use the products. People see them. They say, where'd you get that? I got it from my online store. Great. How do I do it? Oh, you want to be a customer? Great. They say, yeah, I can be a customer. That's great. I'll get a little profit there for me because I buy it wholesale. They're buying it at retail. But some people see that and say, wow, you mean there's a business attached to this? I says, yeah, it's part of a multi-billion-dollar business, energy drink business. And I've been an entrepreneur and I did it because I needed to find a way to put my kids through private school. It's turned into an awesome business for me. That's my story. That's all I have to tell. If someone realizes, oh, I have a problem I'd like to solve, that time and money would solve, they may want to become a partner. So you're an independent business owner, other people who are like-minded, who want their problems of no time and no money, no chance to succeed, a cap on their income, nowhere to go, debt. They want to get rid of those problems. They want to have security, peace of mind, knowing that there's no bills out there that have to be paid. They don't have a mortgage on their home. They can do what they want because they have no boss. They're making income on their own terms. That's the kind of people you'll partner with. How do you find them? You'll find out later today in our webinar how you talk to people about finding out, are they a candidate? These people buy things from the online as well. They get paid for their customer profit, and they get a rebate based on their own purchases. They make money. They make money. They're happy, happy, happy. You're happy because you're getting an override on these sales. As this turns into an uncontrollable story upon story upon story upon story upon story, they have a story. Why did they get involved? They meet somebody. They have a story. 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 Everyone has a story. But the story comes down to there's something that more time and more money would solve. Or maybe they're just looking for getting around people who have exciting stories and like finding other people with exciting stories. Maybe they're just looking for to get around people who believe in the American dream, who believe in entrepreneurship, who believe there is a way to get ahead these days. That doom and gloom right here, that's not for me. That's for the people who say, oh, plan on working until you're 75. That's the answer that they're getting out there. They're looking for something different. These are the stories. It is so fun to be in business with people who decide to think possibility. It is essential if you want to live a life of possibility to get around people who believe in a life of possibility. When there are about 50 households buying their basic purchases online through this, making a little bit of money or a lot, whatever they choose, that is about a $57,000 income a year. And I get that from approved numbers from the Amway Corporation. Now let me bring up something, because I know if you're like me, you're like, oh, it sounded really good till you said Amway. And then this old stuff came up, right? So let me tell you what is good about that. If you're going to start a company, and there are many multi-level companies out there, they'll have a great new juice drink or an anti-aging thing. We just saw one the other day. Or a rubber eyelash thing. Or something that is a product that will create a splash. But is it because people want that product? Probably because the promise is that if you can get a lot of people excited about this product, you can make a lot of money. And that is not how we operate. You need to feel good, look good, have a clean, green home, have products that work for you, be happy with them, and if you choose to expand, then you plug into a system to do that. The system is probably the most important part. So having a system that will teach you, that will train you, that will support you, that's what Team Builders is. And that's what you'll see later today. You'll hear from Suzanne and Dan Olson, who own Team Builders. They teach people how to do the head part of this business. And I tell you, success is all neck up. If you choose, if you want to do a neck down job for the rest of your life, get into a physical job and work neck down. It's going to wear out at some point. Neck up is where success is in this. And that's in the thinking. That means what you read, what you listen to, who you hang out with, makes all the difference. That's what Team Builders offers. So I think I'll close with, I keep saying, there's no reason that you shouldn't do this. When you see that it's a simple, no risk way to access great products to your home, choose to market some, choose to tell your story and duplicate it, or just buy them at wholesale and be happy you're getting a wholesale price. That's the very least you're going to get from here. There's absolutely no reason. If you change your mind in 90 days, you can get all your money back for starting up. There's no risk to this, okay? I emphasize that because people say, well, how do I really learn about this? Start doing it. Start ordering some basic stuff online through your website, get set up on it, and that's how you'll learn. When people say, I know why I wouldn't do this, because I don't have time. And that is the biggest reason people shy away. Well, one of them. So remember, this is a business of leverage. And if you work with a team, it's not how much time you have, it's how much team you have. This is a team-based business. People who have a vested interest in your success. Maybe it's not the right company. Oh, I would do this, but I don't know if Amway is the right company. I don't know if almost $12 billion in global sales is good enough for you. You know, is 100 countries good enough for you? Is rating as the #1 direct sales company in the world, is that good enough for you? So it's probably not going to be that. Is it the right team? Get around some people and find out. I don't know how to do it. Of course you don't know how to do it. That's why you're doing what you do, right? So learning how to do it is the first step. Learn how to access some products online and get with some people. Learn how to tell your story. I found something that I think might work for me. That's your story at the beginning. I'm too shy. I'm too old. I'm too young. I can tell you, you're going to come up with all the reasons why you shouldn't get involved. And I'm just going to end with this. I want you to put why you want to change. What is that peace of mind you're looking for? What is that decompression of knowing that I'm done with money struggle? What's that feel like? What's that vacation feel like? What's that home that you can finally purchase look like? What's that time home with your family that you gather back into your life? What's that look like? And then put that up against, I'm too shy, I'm too old, I'm scared, I don't have time, I'm too young. And if you figure that that's not worth it, that you're shy, you're old, you're brokenness, whatever, the same things I had, your fear, if that's not worth overcoming, your choice. Ooh, that sounds kind of harsh, doesn't it? But it is your choice. I was going to say there is absolutely no reason you should not participate in Team Builders Amway business model, the #1 direct sales company in the world, the most fantastic team in direct sales in the world. There's no reason you shouldn't. And so I say, give it a try, give it a go, and welcome to the rest of our webinar, and wish you all the best. We'll see you at our next seminar.
Wow, terrific job. Hey, wow, we're almost at capacity here. I love it. I love it. People are arriving, and hey, I hope if you're in Wichita or northeastern California somewhere, or Southern California, Central California, Santa Barbara. Hi, glad to see you. And have you checked in? Have you checked in? And
Yeah.
could you let us know who we got here?
Yeah, let's see, we got Dick and Stephanie.
Dick and Stephanie Van Duren. Raise your hands. Can you see that?
All right, we got Matt and Diane Moore from the True North.
Matt, Diane.
We got George.
George, welcome.
We got Lori.
Yeah.
Cheryl.
Cheryl.
And many more.
Oh, I love it. Well, this is great. You know, it's one thing that's exciting is we're in the process of reinventing how we do this business. And there's some things that boy, Chris was at a nurses meeting yesterday. It was a nurses union and the ongoing stuff. And you don't want to know about it. But she was sitting next to someone that she really respects, an old friend who just said, I don't want anything to change. And surprise, everything's going to change on us whether we want to or not. You can kind of, try not to change, but it's just going to wear you out. It's going to work very good. But how about change? Does that sound good?
Yeah.
So and so we like doing this. We know the power of getting around people in a room together. So we're going to be talking about September 12th, where we're going to be webinar less, but richer in every other way. But I want to talk about something that Team Builders is bringing together, and this is, well, we're pulling up a video here in a moment. I'm talking to people. My goal from now until the end of the next 6 weeks, the next month and a half until the end of October. What we've got coming up in Las Vegas is the Team Builders sponsored and coordinated Free Enterprise Summit, and so the people I'm going to be talking to. I'm going to target people who are already successful. Maybe they own companies that they're semi-retired from. Maybe they're driving, $50,000 Mercedes. Maybe they're whatever. They've had some success, and I'm going to talk to them and say, hey, listen, I can personally introduce you to 12 to 15 people who have made tens of millions of dollars owning their own business. Would you like to meet them? And because it's no matter the people that I've got on my list, they're successful. They're not diamond successful. They're not even close to it in terms of just income, let alone the ability to, control their life and the freedom involved there. So on October 23rd and 24th, could you hand me my briefcase, please? It's over there somewhere. October 23rd, 24th, we're going to be meeting in Las Vegas, Nevada. I don't have the name of the resort in front of me. The
South Point.
South Point, brand new resort. It's even got a 16-screen multiplex in it. But and there are going to be over a dozen diamonds and half a dozen diamond organizations there, including from the Midwest, from the Northwest, the Washington area, the Kansas, Oklahoma area, who else? Southern California, Utah, diamond groups from all over. And if for those of you who are in the business, you know what I'm talking about. And the guest speakers, I mean, because we're going to hear from all these diamonds, the Pointners, the McInerney's, the Suzanne, the Brad and Kim DeHaven, Brad Vogelmont, David Humphreys. I mean, just on and on, diamonds after diamonds. It's going to be a big event, something that we haven't seen in a long time, and it's come together in a big way because of Team Builders' involvement and commitment to that. But we've got a really cool couple who are going to be the keynote speakers, and they built a business. I think what I got from their video was in about 4 years, a founder's diamond business, and it sounds like some really great pasta dish, the Papalardi's. And every time I look at it, I think of, what shape is that? And creamy pesto and all that stuff. But anyhow, so we're able to take ticket orders today. I don't want to get into the details so much, is that Lee's going to pull up a video by the Papalardi's. Take a look at it. It's also on YouTube. It's on the Team Builders website. But let's look at it right now, because the whole focus of today's event, whole focus of having you here with us and us in your homes, is to refocus on why we did this in the first place, or why we're excited about it. How can we get reinvigorated? How we can get really focused and excited and invigorated right from the gate. Watch these guys and say, would it be worth spending time around these people? And do they look happy and do they look excited? Here we go.
income.
Oh, I'll look that up.
Yeah.
We back up?
Yeah.
So, Founder's Diamond, what the heck is that? That was the average, the median income for a Founder's Diamond last year. That means half made more and half made less was $565,000. Actually, $108. Not bad, huh? And I think these figures do not include anything out of the compensation plan. There's big bonuses on top of that. So it really is a life of freedom. And all these people coming in, they'll be able to see in October, have been at that level for anywhere from 5 years to 30 years. And these are the people we learn from as we're excited about it. We get inspiration from them because when you see someone who's done this, all you can think of is, well, you can think two different things. You can think, that's not me, it's them. Or you can look at them and say, hey, we can do that. If with their help, we can do that. So we're excited about that. Well, we want to talk about today, and we've got a room full of great people here, and I'm excited to be in somebody's living room. But we're going to talk about, and where is that sheet? She handed me that. I had an experience this week that reinvigorated me mentally and emotionally in my business. And I think we all go through that. So what we want to talk about is how can we help expand the dream in ourselves, in our partners, in the prospects, the people we talk to. But really, to me, it's starting with ourselves. And why does that matter? So we're going to have Lee and Susan and Chris and the Afonsos and Susan and just talk about that. Let me start off with my story a little bit. Just of the last week or two. Chris and I went to see a financial planner. And, it's like you check in and say, well, we hadn't seen her in 4 years. We thought it was last year. It's kind of like going to the dentist, or going somewhere where you're not really crazy about going. But the good thing is, like, you can go to the dentist and they can just look at you and go, oh, you haven't been flossing, have you? Or they can say, hey, it looks pretty good, no cavities, you're doing whatever you're doing at home, keep doing that. You never know how it's going to turn out, but a lot of us will put that off just out of the fear of what we're going to find out. Anyhow, so we went to we did the work ahead of time. We wrote down everything that comes in and everything that goes out to the best of our knowledge, and what do you got in savings and things like that, and then sat down with a financial planner, and it really, Chris and I have different backgrounds. She's always I've spent most of my adult life self-employed, which sounds better than it is. I just got to say that. And Chris has always worked. So there's a retirement programs that come when you work for someone else, when you work for yourself. Not so much. But what we did is we've got 25 years in our Amway business. And we sat with this woman and she said, and I'm really talking, I understand I'm talking to two groups of people here. If there's our situation right now, I'm thinking 35 and over. But it all applies to people 35 and under also, but for different reasons. But once again, I'm over 35 and this is my story for the moment. Hey, come on in. Good to see you. It's a packed house here tonight. So here's the deal. We looked at everything and she said, well, if you do this, she was talking about how to maximize Social Security. What can you guys do over the next number of years that will maximize the money you paid into Social Security and what you can get and this and that. And you could retire at 62 and you might want to get to 65 because of the difference. It would be $1,500 a month difference.
If you could wait till 70.
And if you can wait till 70. When we first started this business, excuse me, I got some. 25 years ago, I remember looking at a financial tip sheet that we got. We just signed up for it because we were just starting to think of business and finances and stuff like that. And there was an article in there that was how to retire, how to have a better retirement. Now I was in my late 30s at the time when we saw this, and was reading down the list of things. And the first thing was work until you're 70. I said, I don't think I need this. Anyhow, I stopped reading at that point. But here's the deal. Because we built with a lot of help and a lot of effort and persistence over the years, what I have to call a moderate-sized Amway business. It's not a big business, but it definitely, brings in more than if we didn't have it. Let's just put it that way. Is that we looked at that, we realized that was, even if you look at everything else in this retirement package and understand that this planner is very good at what she does. She's very established. She's very smart. But she was talking to us in terms of how to maximize she didn't say meager, but I will, how to maximize the meager resources available to all people from a lifetime of working. And it was like Lee and Susan, when they talk about the cash flow quadrant, say this side is all about debt management and this side is about wealth creation. And so she was talking to us in terms of debt management and how to manage the Social Security payments, things like that. And she said, well, I got to go get, she went to the office, to the other office to get something. And Chris and I looked at each other and we said, let's just break another leg, or something like this. Something rang in my head. It was Brad Hardesty's voice 15 years ago saying, the one reason to get to a 25% business, which honestly, guys, it's not that big a deal. It's totally doable by absolutely everyone in this room or in the room that I'm looking at right now. So when you're at 25%, every time you add a leg that does just 1,000 PV, that's another $400 to $600 a month. Because you've got some width and your business is growing, you just kicked up your bonus and your BV goes up and you're at 25%. So what did she say? She said, if you can get your IRA, you're saving up to $300,000, that would be worth an extra $300 a month.
Oh, jeez. Oh, man.
Hey, or you can sponsor somebody and help them do 1,000 PV, and you got next to 300 a month right now. My point is that the retirement, retirement is such that just saying that word involves such a limited viewpoint of what the world is. And it conjures up these pictures. And so what should we use in place of retirement?
Life enhancing.
Life enhancement.
Time to do what you love.
Time to do what you love. Choices.
Choices.
Whatever it is, whatever we want to plug in there. Because I'm talking not to just people 35 and over. I'm talking about everybody who wants to be involved in this business. Oh, did I mention that over half of the new platinums are under 35?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So,
half.
yeah.
Over half. That's good.
Yeah, that's great. It couldn't be any better than that because you got people who are, you've got baby boomers, and you got Gen Y or Gen, and then you got millennials. You got all these groups with labels on them. What they all have in common is limited financial choices and time and money. So we were going to talk about that today because what got me reinvigorated was not realizing that we had this great asset that we kind of taken for granted. I had kind of taken it for granted, and then looking at what the world looks at, because she was talking to us like she talks to everyone else, but we felt like, what? We got this ace up our sleeve.
That's right.
This is good. It was very. Excuse me. Give me some water, please. It was very motivating for me because I realized, okay, we want the life that we want. So why are we just sitting here being happy with a moderate business? How about a big business? You know,
Yeah,
how about because everything we were looking at, we realized, and this goes for everyone, add a platinum leg to your business. Everybody, what happens to it?
a lot.
Start with yours, and then, but what happens when you add another one and another one? The median income for a founder's emerald was $134,000 last year. That's about 15,000 a month. Something. I'm not doing the math very well. Doesn't include the year-end founder's emerald bonus, which is $75,000.
What would you have to have in your IRA to do that?
Yeah. Well, Bruce Bond told me that years ago. He said, you know, what would you look at your business as an asset that's irreplaceable, as dividend income. If you had an extra $5,000 a month coming in, what would be different?
Everything.
Everything. Everything. And that's the thing is we know what to do. Every one of us, even if it's your first meeting or your 1,000th meeting here today, everyone knows what to do, or they're working with someone that knows everything that we know what to do. What we forget is why we do it. And that's what we want to rekindle today is why what will it take for me to put to work? How can I get excited about what I know? You know what I mean? I got re-excited this week. And I want other people to also, because we're sitting on an absolute treasure chest. And the good news is that when you open it up, it keeps spilling out and it goes to more and more people. Anyone who says, wow, look, you got this flood of gold coins and jewels and baubles and everything. And it looks like there's enough for anybody who wants some. Right? Anyone who's willing to do that. And we do know what to do. But it made me realize again that until I'm excited about something and I know why I'm doing it, it doesn't matter how much I know. So that's what's got me excited is I feel reinvigorated, I guess. And I'm also forgetting what I was going to say next, but that's okay because we've got a lot of people here today who talk about that. And I would encourage you at home or here, get out something to write on. Or if you don't want or ask someone, we'll get you something, because I really think an important part of today is writing down something. Here's something else that I realized recently in just my own, is that for me personally, I'm the kind of person who tends to think, well, if I have that, I'll be happy. If I have this, I'll be happy. If I have this, it'll take care of the situation. If I have this, and it's not true. I think it's all false. No, it's not all false. But having something won't make you happy. Achieving something, creating a resource, that's more exciting to me, because I know, and because we've always heard and we learned, and it's true to some great extent, is to put your dreams on your refrigerator. And I'm looking at some pretty cool dreams over here. But it looks more like places to go and places to visit. And because you guys don't really want to buy a flying humpback whale, do you? You know, I mean, that's not really, it's like, they want to go experience that.
But there is something in the driveway that used to be on that refrigerator.
Exactly. So for me, I want you to focus on, no matter how old you are or how young you are, what do you want your life to look like in 5 years? And are you really serious about it? Because we can make that happen. To me, I want a life of being present. I want a life of just breathing easy. I want a life of really great hotels. I don't know. It's we've all got a different picture. Yeah. Anyhow, so let's see how we can. How did we put it today? How to help expand our dream. And let's make this pretty interactive. If you're online, let's hear from you via chat. We can answer questions. We can make this interactive. We can work with the room here. But for right now, I'm going to bring up. Are you walkable? Okay. Then let's bring up Lee and Susan.
I'm walkable, and it tells me there's a story I have and not everybody's got their story, as Chris said. And I don't particularly, how do I want to do this? There's good news and bad news about my story. The good news is I got to chase the grandkids around for hours 2 weeks ago. The bad news is it knocked my back out really bad. All right. So, but maybe the good news is it's added some urgency to what we're trying to accomplish here. And that urgency is to get to a place where not only can I chase the grandkids around, but we can chase Susan and I all over the countryside because we want to travel. We've got the RV thing going. And if I've got a bad back, that's going to hinder my ability to do that. All of us need to be able to think about what urgencies they might have, because time's a wasting. And really, for all of us in this room and out in chat land, we have the ability to do whatever we want. So it is a matter of thinking about that urgency and what's important. And so with that, I don't know, Susan, do you have a story? That's my story. That's current.
Well, what I had to learn in the beginning, years ago when I started my business, was telling it like it is keeps it like it is. I want you to think about that for a minute. Telling it like it is keeps it like it is. So what are some things people generally say when? Well,
I'm out of time.
yes. So the story is, I have no time. Well, you went through some stories. I'm too young. I'm too old.
I can't afford it.
I can't afford it.
It's not a people.
It's not me.
Oh,
I'm not a people person.
Salesman.
Yeah,
Right, right. So as long as we are declaring our limitations, we get to own them. So, and that we don't only declare them, we justify them,
Yeah.
right? So what does a justification sound like? Well, I just don't have the energy. And how could I possibly do that? I've got, there's the kids and there's the commitments at the church or the school or then we justify them, then we really cement them in. So what I had to learn is tell myself the story of how I want it to be. So you tell it like you want it to be, then you get to move in that direction.
Yeah.
And that takes some discipline because we live in a victim society. Is that true? Does that sound true?
Yeah.
So we live in a society where everybody is justifying how it is. So it takes some self-discipline. It takes some great association. It takes listening to some great audios. More than anything else, going to that conference that Alan promoted, nothing will help you tell it like you want it to be like that. And that gets you out of the lizard brain, the lower brain, and into past the mammalian brain where the emotion is, and all the way to the brain, the higher brain that humans hopefully have, where we work out how to make that feeling of freedom come true. But you have to take that trip through your brains. And it's very important not to skip the emotional brain. And the emotional brain is what actually puts us into action.
Yeah.
So that means that on a regular basis, you have to go look at your dream, touch your dream, put it on your refrigerator, stop for a minute if it's not a tangible dream, take a good long breath and spend at least 10 or 15 minutes feeling the feelings of being on that beach with all that blue, or being in on the mountain by the lake, or having that. For me, I had 2 little kids and a full-time job and a lot of other commitments when I saw this. And I was thinking, wow, I waited so long to have those kids. I was almost 40 when I had my kids, and I thought, now I'm missing it. Now I'm at work every day. I'm in work. I go to work when it's dark. I come home when it's dark. Windowless office, inside a windowless office. I felt like I was selling my life to the lowest bidder. It wasn't the lowest bidder. I could have had a fast food job, I guess. But I felt like I was defaulting on my life. I had to learn to go out on our deck with my 2 little kids making acorn people or oobleck or something and pretend it wasn't a Sunday, but it was a Tuesday morning. And I could be there on a Tuesday morning. Whatever you have to do to discipline your mind away from the reptilian brain, the fight or flight brain, the just what's going to get me if I change anything brain. And move up into the mammalian brain, where all the emotion is, where we actually make connections and have relationships. That's where it all starts. This has to do with evolution, of course. And then finally make a plan with people that have a proven success record. Then you've got something. So, Chris, you want me to tell about what's not on our refrigerator anymore because it's sitting in the driveway. Yay. So. And we will do tours later for people who are here. Sorry, guys. I don't know. Maybe we can film it or something. So we had a picture of the RV we wanted to have on our refrigerator, and we were going dream building as we often do.
We'd go out and look at RVs all the time, not really expecting to get one right away.
Right.
But we were looking all the time.
So we walked into Reed's RVs over in Pengrove and looked across the lot, and I said, "Oh, I want to go through that one." And so the sales guy came up, a really nice guy, a listener.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind. People listen to people who listen to them. So he was a real listener.
And there's a lot of good sales guys out there, by the way. So don't be afraid to go out and talk to car dealers, RV dealers, realtors. These are mostly nice people. They're not going to push you into something you don't want to buy.
Yeah, mostly true. You don't have to be worried about that. Go
Yeah.
out and look. You can always say no. I like to say this, if I'm really intending not to buy anything, I like to say, well, I'm expecting a windfall in a year or 2 years. I just like to know what I'm going to be getting. So I'm doing my research now. But anyway, so we walked into the lot. I said, I want to look at that. When we walked in, we were home. We were just home. The colors weren't offensive. The space was great. The light was amazing. Some things we'd been looking at, they were all there. And then it turned out that this was, it even has a new smell, you'll notice when we take you out there. You guys won't. but it's actually almost 10 years old, but it had been sitting in somebody's barn. So
And not used.
The oven hadn't been used. The mattress was still wrapped. It had this new smell. Everything was just pristine. And so we had to leave with it because it would be a sin not to. It was so reasonable. So we came home and looked at the refrigerator. It was the exact same model.
Same thing that had been on the refrigerator.
Oh,
It works. So be careful what you put on your refrigerator
Right.
because you will get it.
Right.
That's
Make sure the color's right, the make, the model, the year.
yeah.
Something like that. That the house had the kitchen. My kitchens are a big thing for people. How many kitchen people in this room?
Yeah. Wow. All right.
Right. It's got to be right on your refrigerator. So, and then there's the making a difference in the world dreams. And that's something else that you need to cultivate. You need to research. You need to get the feeling of being able to help some people out in your world. I love what Susan Bookstaff used to always say. She used to always say, this isn't really about totally getting for yourself. And she explained it this way. She said, if as you walked out the door, I handed you $10,000. And I said, the only proviso is you have to spend it on someone else. How many people could do that? No problem at all.
Oh yeah. Easy.
And would it be fun?
Oh yeah.
Woo-hoo!
Yeah. Absolutely.
And if she sent you out the door with the $10,000 and said you have to spend this on yourself, could you do that? But it's not like it's either or. You can actually create a resource where you can make a difference.
You do both.
You can make a difference.
Yes.
In fact, I feel that the thing I've loved most about building this business for the last 20 plus years is the lives I've seen change. And the lives I've helped, the lives that somebody else was helping that individual to make their dreams come true. But it's just, there's nothing like being, like we will be in October, in a huge room full of people who are either in the process of making significant change happen in their lives and the lives of others, or they have had a tremendous impact on the quality of life of a lot of people. There's just nothing quite like that. So
I'm going to chip in and talk a
tell
little bit
yourself a
about.
good story.
Tell yourself a good story. And I'm going to talk just real quickly about how do we help other people get a grip on what they might want to see in their life.
Yeah.
How do we help people do that? And I can tell you just from my personal experience, most of my conversations with anybody I meet, that seems to wind up being the discussion and what it's all about.
Yes.
Because I ask questions. I ask questions about what a beautiful day. What would you be doing if you weren't working? I ask questions about where'd you go on your last vacation? I ask questions about what would you like to do next? What kind of a car might you like to drive? All the time, I ask people questions about what they'd like to see in their life. This is even, you might say, before showing the plan, before doing an info session. But isn't showing people the possibilities part of our info session anyway? And so shouldn't we be just starting out that way? It's very easy to ask those questions, and it really brightens people's day to have them stop and think about those possibilities in their life. Now, a lot of people say, oh, I can't, okay? Or I couldn't do that. I couldn't do anything like that. These are choices. Do you realize we can choose to do anything? We could choose to go jump off a bridge if we wanted. Now, I wouldn't suggest anybody do that, but the thing is,
But we do have choices. It's
but
true.
we do have choices. And I have friends who all the time will say, oh, I can't eat that, or I can't go there, or I can't buy that. You know what? It's a choice. You know what? You could eat 14 hot dogs a day if you wanted to. Again, not a good choice, but certainly a choice. So I want everybody to think about choices. We have the choice to do anything we want in life. Anything. There's no limit. The only limit is right up here in your brain.
Awesome.
So are we bringing somebody else who's ready out there? Rich, Robin, you want to come?
Okay.
And while they're coming up, and this is Rich and Robin Afonso, we love them. I just like to say I loved what Chris said in the plan to generate the dream. And some people weren't here yet, and she said, "What needs to change? What has to change in your life?" I've used that, and I also sponsored someone this last week, and my question to her is, "What's important to you?" And when people answer those questions, the ones that Lee posed or these questions that I've posed, the next thing out of your mouth should be, and how would that feel?
Oh,
You
good.
want to
How
anchor
would
it
it
with
feel?
emotion, because emotion is what people act from.
How would that feel?
People don't act from their logic, they act from their emotions. People will tell you all kinds of things they'll do a pros and con list on a decision, right? And then they'll do the opposite of what ended up on the con list or the pro list. They'll do the opposite anyway. People will always go with their emotions. So I'll end with that. Come on, guys.
Rich and Robin Afonso. Yeah, right.
And we look right there, huh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Watch Susan.
Yes.
There you go.
That beautiful teal.
Yes.
Wow, I was thinking when Alan was talking about other words for retirement, something a little different connotation. And what I came up with was we're in the process of checking off our dream fulfillment bucket list. And to me, it's a whole different way of looking at time at this phase in our life, or anyone's phase of life when they have options. So checking off the bucket list kind of things. And that we're sort of getting going on that. We've had some changes with no employment, less employment, more time, and some time to kind of regroup. And we have one of our dreams is to travel. And so we have a cruise in about 4 weeks to Alaska,
Yeah.
north to Alaska.
Yeah.
All right.
And,
I love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That'll be really fun. And I also know, though, that the best way to build this business is with a dream. I've tried it with a dream and I've tried it without. And people can, my experience is if we're not together and we don't have something we're running for, even if it's a little something that is on the refrigerator, on the tip of our tongues, people can smell that. They know that because it's so rare. They can talk to anybody that doesn't have a dream. And what we really can bring to the table is some excitement and some things that we have, not that we have to pound them with our dreams and our visions, but to at least have it so that as we talk, we can invite that client or that prospective person into that world of looking at bigger rather than smaller, new experiences rather than the same old, same old. And so what I've gotten from what I've heard so far is, for us, at least speaking for me, it's time to go back out again, get some pictures, not just of stuff, but find out, really do some soul searching and some talking. What is it we want? And then exactly get those pictures, like the motorhome, our RV story, find some of those things and put them on the refrigerator and dance with them every day. Look at them, romance them. Yeah.
We've taken and gone so far as to take down the old dream board. All right.
Mhm.
And because it's, it's a little dated. Okay.
Yeah.
Some of those things have happened.
Yeah.
All right. But to reinvent it and make
Yeah.
it current, make it something
Yeah.
now.
Right.
And yes,
Mhm.
fresh.
Yeah.
Not just wallpaper.
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
Right.
So it does
Yeah.
take, it's not something you do just once. All right. You've got to go and keep it alive and make it
Yeah.
real and check off the ones that actually come true. That's
Yeah.
important too.
Acknowledge that.
So I really, we are doing a lot of that and seeing what time looks like when we're together and the options that we have. All right. So I like it.
Me too. And I really think I've seen too that dreams evolve and change. We change. I've changed. What I maybe wanted 10 years ago, 15 years ago, some of those values never changed. Time with my family, good solid marriage, good health, weight that's healthy, all that kind of stuff. But what has come and gone is some of the specifics. And so I think to excavate, as Susan would say, maybe new dreams. I've had a dream for years. When I was a young mom in Seattle 37 years ago, I had a stained glass business. And I've been saying for 35 of those years, someday I'm going to get going on that. And we always had the excuse, the garage is too small, we're working, we're this, we're that. Well, and about 6 weeks ago, that business reopened.
Yeah.
And I'm actively doing that.
Yeah,
And
see what it
that's,
looks like.
And it's beautiful. It's
It really
wonderful.
come out nice.
And the reality is I still today need some other income, but how about walk into that world of how it feels to have a big enough Amway business to do stained glass and have that be just enough, So that's all I have to say. And just having fun. Let's tell a story about how we have fun together. I think dreaming is inseparable with having fun. How do you go out as a single with your team, or a couple, or building as a married person but single? How do you have fun? I think that's so tied into the dream, because people can also smell that. They can smell fun and they can smell drudgery. They just,
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, not too awful long ago, we took a little extra time going to a function in Vegas, and we took a trip down 395, which is something that I wanted to do for a long time. It's a beautiful drive, and there's a lot of history down that drive. But we did it uniquely. We took and only booked one hotel, all right, on the first night. Okay. And then we kind of lived off the land, if you will. We talked to the people that are in the area. We not only communicated and interacted with them, but we found out, they have valued information. All right. Now, I can't say that, goes across every line, but they have valued information, that places to see and things to do. And we had a blast. We still talk about this trip. All right. And wanting to do it again.
Yeah.
So, hey, do what you love. All right. As she was saying, her passion is to do glass. All right. I like working with wood, and those are hobbies. They're hobbies that can make a little bit of money, but I'd rather do them because I like to do them. All right. Rather than that be a source of income. So why not have something that provides the income and lifestyle that you want, and then to go pursue those things that you're really passionate about. If it's singing, writing music or poetry, painting, playing guitar, whatever it is, pursue what makes you you. That's what you want to do.
Great.
All right.
So we'd like to introduce Susan Bookstaff.
Woo!
Woo! Bring her up with a big woo-hoo-hoo. Ms. Susan Bookstaff. Here you go. I'll
Thank
sit
you.
where you were so you have a.
Okay, perfect. Hi, everybody. You know, we've heard some great speakers today. You know, they've really, I've heard Alan talk about, you know, how we have to have something that we're working towards that's motivating us in order to go from, you know, a nice size business to a bigger business. We've heard Lee and Susan talk about, you know, how it's meant to have their dreams and to go out there and chase them. We've heard from Rich and Robin about resurrecting some things maybe that you hadn't thought about. You know what's been resurrected for me in the last couple of weeks? I've been reading in some diamond stories. And what's really, what I had kind of forgotten and what I've reminded is that diamond is awesome. I mean, diamond is cool. That's where it's at, okay? All right? Imagine this. You get a check for like $20,000 in the mail. And instead of saying, well, I should pay bills or I should save, or imagine being able to do whatever you want because you know another one is coming next week. That money doesn't have to last you all year, okay? So what I'm going to recommend that we do is everything the speakers have said. We're going to get excited about something again. We're going to have our dreams defined, and we're going to resurrect some old ones. And so what I would like to do for the next couple of minutes is help you remember what some of those past ones are and maybe think of some new ones, okay? So, yeah. So I'm going to invite you to kind of do a little, and I brought some notes just in case, because this topic is important enough to me that I figured, okay, they can watch me with my notes. But just for a minute, you know, do this with me. Close your eyes and just relax, okay? And think about the diamond lifestyle, okay? Now, you might not know yet what that means to you, but we're gonna know by the end of today, okay? So all of a sudden, you have just found out that you're a diamond with residual income and your bills are all paid and you are completely debt-free. Okay, so now, open your eyes and write down if you like, or just think, who's the first person that you're going to call now that you've found this out? Will it be your kids to say pack for Disneyland? Will it be your boss to say you quit? Will it be the car dealership to order something special? Because remember, you've been defining these things, so you know what you want. Will it be the person that's always told you it won't work? Okay, so that's the first thing. What's the first phone call you'd make? The next question is this. What's the first check you're going to write? Is it going to be to a college to just pay off the tuition like Michael and Lori did so that your kids are not going to graduate with student loans? Will it be to pay off your mortgage? Or maybe your parents' mortgage so that they don't have to worry anymore? Will it be a cruise line for a trip around the world? I just heard of this really cool one today. It's like $100,000 for 2 people to go. And it's, I mean, just out of this world. It's like a 6-month thing. So anyway, and I looked at that and I went, what if, you know, I had the time and the money to do that? Or would that first check be $50,000 to a school or a charity or some program that needs your help? You know, what if you could buy like all new band uniforms or instruments for some school that had to quit their program? Do you realize with money, we can make a real difference? So think about that. You're a diamond. What's the first good check you'd write? The next question is, who's the first person you'll help? Now, we already talked about paying off your kids' college, but what about wiping out all the debt for a sick friend? Somebody who's maybe having to work to make ends meet and can't focus on the things that really matter, like getting better. Imagine being able to just wipe that out. Okay? How about taking the stress off of a single parent, relative or friend that you know, that you've seen work hard, you know? How about donating to local foster kids or animals or cancer research or any cause that you believe in? Now, yes, we're all altruistic and those things are good, but what's one toy that you've always wanted? Okay? Maybe it's a guitar. Maybe it's a boat. Maybe it's an SUV. Right now, for me, it's an iPad. I just want to go buy an iPad, okay? I know it's a little thing, but you know what? If I was a diamond, when the iPads came out, I'd have went in and spent the $600 or $800 and just got one, okay? Because that's the lifestyle that Suzanne and Dan can have. And that's what we're all playing for, and that's what's possible for all of us. We just have to remember that. We have to remember how cool it is, and we have to remember that we can do it. So after that, the one toy, you know, just write down one other thing. What, you know, one place that you've always wanted to go, or one one experience that you've always wanted to have that wasn't covered in any of the other questions. Now think about the things on that list. Some of them are for other people, some of them for yourself. All of them are probably pretty cool, right? It would be ridiculous for us to be standing here talking about these things if we did not honestly know that we knew in our hearts that we have a way to get them. Okay. What we need to do in 2015 and 2016 is we need to follow Dan and Suzanne. We need to be at the function when they're there. And we need to listen to what they say. And we need to remember their lifestyle is awesome. And they want it for each and every one of us.
Yeah.
So that's what I have to say. Remember your dreams, and then let's let our diamond help us get them.
Wow.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I forgot. What I would like to do now, my privilege is to bring up a great leader of Team Builders West and my dear friend, Chris Suddeth, to wrap it. Chris Suddeth. I had a big hand for Chris Suddeth. Didn't she do a great job explaining the business concept? Yeah. You're so welcome.
Very good. All right. So big dreams. And what a great reminder. How many times have we heard life begins at 25%, which is you're going platinum. You've got $50,000 coming in. You've got relief. You're knocking down that debt. You've got these great free trips every year and that $20,000 bonus at the end of the year. And then Susan just came along and amped it up and says, wait a minute, the $20,000 a month lifestyle, where you have a whole different relationship with money. Your problem with money is you're not sure what you're going to do with this big pile of it. You're trying to make decisions about, wow, who's the best charity to give this to? You're researching, where does this make the most difference? Your experience with bills and credit cards and wondering, oh gosh, if I'm late on the mortgage, or should I pick up more overtime? Those days are long gone. So thank you for bringing that up. Now, this happens because she said we have the possibility, and the possibility is as you're telling your story, you're trying to find out what are other people's stories. And people don't yet know their story. So I'm just going to spend a few minutes and then ask people who've been showing the plan, what are the questions we ask to find out what are people's dreams? It's kind of hard sometimes to get there. I was confused with this business. I thought you showed this plan by getting out a calculator and showing all the different bonuses and the calculations and, minus expenses, you would end up with this. Kind of logical, but flat. So these are just a few questions, and I want you to be thinking about what are questions that bring out someone's dream. And questions that I like are, what would you do if you could? What would you do if you could? Sherry, what would you do if you could?
And I had all the money in the world.
If you could, yeah, you can do it. Yeah.
I would book a flight
She'd book a flight
for two.
for
Well, I'd
two.
pay Sean's school off,
First, she would pay her son's college off.
but that's important. But what's more important, I think, is for Jim and I to travel. We want to both go to Europe,
Mhm.
Italy, Rome, and see that part of the world.
Wow. She's her
So I would
husband.
go
Yeah.
buy the tickets
Wow. Okay.
and say, guess where we're going?
Wow. Awesome. You would walk into a travel agency.
I would.
You'd say, I've got the cash. I
Right.
want to plan a great trip for me and my husband, and I want to focus on what 3 countries did you say? Italy?
I have to go to Europe.
I want to go to
I
Europe.
want to go to Europe.
Give me some ideas. And whatever they put out there, you're not worried about, oh no, that I can't do that. We better go to Yosemite instead. Or maybe we'll just watch PBS. I don't know. But instead you say, no, we can do that. So what would you do if you could? And you know what? She knew that answer. How many people do you know out there that if you just ask them that simple question, what would you do if you could? Diane, Denise, what would that be for you? What would you do if you could?
Well, I got my passport in order, so I would book a flight over to Northern Ireland and go to my cousin's doors and just knock and say I stopped in.
Oh my God.
Love that.
So Denise, if she could, would
I was in the neighborhood.
walk into an A or go online and she'd book a ticket to what city would you fly into?
Well, Belfast, Northern Ireland.
Into Belfast, Northern Ireland. She would have pllenty of help there to get her to her cousin's front door, knock on that door, and say, just thought I'd stop in. I love that. Judith, what would you do if you could?
If I could, I would, first of all, if I was lucky enough, I would spend Christmas Eve at the Ahwahnee Hotel.
Wow.
They have to win a drawing to be able to do that. You can take 4 people with you.
Christmas Eve at the Ahwahnee Hotel, a spectacular, beautiful hotel in the heart of Yosemite. All right. So that's a question. It's a powerful question. And asking questions is so important. As another simple question, what's your next career move? What's your next adventure? Because when you get to know somebody, this is a business of connecting with people. And when you connect with them, so what do you do? How long have you worked here? So have you been a therapist for long? Cool. Well, what's your next adventure? And if they're looking for a next adventure, they will tell you. And if it is not on their radar, if they're stuck mentally in that, they're going to look at you like, huh? And you're going to go, just asking. And you're going to know there was no spark there, but you're looking for a spark. What are some other questions? What are questions that help someone wake up and find out what is
I
there?
really like what's important to you. I got an
What's-
immediate response.
Tell us that story, Susan.
So I was showing the plan to Anna, and I said, what's important to you, Anna? And she said, helping people. And certainly, having heard her story, I know that's what she does all the time. She does it in a lot of different venues. And so then my next question was, so what does that look like? You know, what would you do beyond what you're already doing? And when she shared that, I said, how would that feel?
How would that
How
feel?
would that feel?
So Susan Strong is saying, when you get an answer to this is what's important to me, or this is what I would do if I could, she amps it up to the next stop, to that other part of the brain she was talking about. So how would that feel? You know, why don't we ask these questions? I guess because it requires some courage and caring.
I have one, Chris, another question.
What's a good question, Robin?
Where would you be if you weren't at work today?
Where would you be
And then just be quiet.
if you weren't at work
It
today?
tells you real quickly if they have a dream, because if they say, oh, I'd get my kids in the van, we'd be headed to Disneyland.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
I'd be asleep and then get up and go to breakfast. I mean, you get
Yeah.
information. If they have anything inside, it's another way
Mhm.
to qualify someone, whether they really have something or not.
Right. You're in a business where you have a job of inviting other people to face what they want, to get in touch with what they want. And your courage and your caring in inviting them to do that, to me, that is love. I mean, that's really loving somebody without an expectation that I'm asking you this so that you get in my business so I can get what I want. You know, it just doesn't work when you energize it that way. But the truth is, when you help enough people get what they want, we know that statement, right? When you help enough other people get what they want, you will get what you want. That's a principle that has been powered this business forever. And I can tell you, there's not any other business out there that works like this does so strongly on that principle. Good business means you help other people get what they want. But this is the only way I had a chance to really practice that principle and create millions of dollars of income over 25 years. I mean, it's amazing. It's a good lesson in being courageous and caring enough to find out what's in people. What do they want? And so if you're online or joining us by webinar and you have some questions that you like to ask people, just put them on the chat, because I've learned so much from everybody. What are the questions to ask?
Well, you asked one with your plan earlier, and that's what needs to change, what has to change.
What has to change?
So
What
that's
has
going
to
the
change
pain
for
points
you?
People have, and we can go from there.
Exactly.
Things.
Yeah. What has to change for you? You gotta be a little bit willing to have your heart broken in a way. And I don't mean that in a sob story way. But when you really expose yourself to really hear what is it that people want. When I ask somebody, just one story, when I asked somebody, well, what would you do if you weren't here today? And she said, I'd be home with my children. And she immediately got tearful. This is a young woman who is desperate to not be working two fairly low-paying jobs, does not have time to school. She's to go to school, and through circumstances, she's now raising two children on her own, supported by a grandparent who pays much of her rent. What's her chances of that situation changing? Unless someone says, let me go hand in hand with you. Let me help you change that. And then the asking, why is that important to you? Is a similar question to, how would that feel? How would that feel if that never happened? Is a kind of a tough question to ask. Say, I really want to get home with my kids. How would that feel if that never happened? But you know what? We're looking for some truth here. The other way to say is, how would that feel if that happened for you? Oh, that would be great. How would it feel if that never happened? Oh, do you see your situation changing if you continue doing the same things you're doing now? Do you see your situation changing if you do the same things you're doing now? Now, for people that we're showing the plan to, that's a powerful question, but I'll end with this. That's a good question to ask in the mirror.
Okay.
Do you see your situation changing if you do things the same way you're doing now? We're going to see later today, we're going to do the Blitz report and give awards for that, because people are doing things. People are doing more than before, but we can do more. We can do more. We can care more. We can be more courageous and make a difference in many parts. So I'm going to invite Alan to come up. We're going to invite and give you time to bring up a video. People have talked about our diamonds. Suzanne Olson, Dan and Suzanne Olson, they will be here September 12th.
We're very excited. We're really excited about it, and it's this is a chance right now. It's going to be September 12th in San Rafael, California. There will be no webinar. It's because you can't get the experience of Dan's of Suzanne's story by webinar.
Yeah.
You got to be in the room, and it's the opportunity to get in an intimate. Although it's growing larger, we've got people calling in. We haven't heard from a while. We've got people who want to tie into this. Plus, we've got our own group, and I know that we've got commitments from other people. It's something you don't want to miss. So that's going to be from 5 to 8 p.m. on September 12th in San Rafael at the 4 Points, the 4 Points Sheraton. But chances we haven't put it all together yet. But I would plan on something earlier in the day. It could be an Angel Island. It could be Tiburon. It could be something where you get out and you're just and you're hanging with your diamonds. And we're all together, and then after that we do the event. So we haven't worked out the logistics, whether they're coming in Friday night or Saturday morning, or what we're going to do. But it's going to be a blast. And what I'd like to do is we have tickets with us for that in one of these bags. Yeah, we've got September BDS tickets, and so if you are logged in, if you're watching this from a distance, you have a chance also to order tickets via chat here, and then we'll figure out that. But it's having the commitment, because we're we're very excited about having the opportunity to be able to do this, to do a webinar and have people plug into that. And we also know that nothing replaces being in a room for 3 hours with a diamond. And we will see Suzanne, of course, in Las Vegas, but it's going to be from a distance. This is the intimate, because that's where it gets real. That's where it gets real. You can go to a big event. We've been to once, and this one is going to in Las Vegas at the end of October. It's going to be amazing because it's going to be like more proof than you've ever seen in one place at one time in terms of diamond businesses and people you can relate to and people that you like a lot and things like that. But it's still at a distance because you're in the audience and they're on stage. And that's not what September 12th is about. It's like being face to face with your biggest fan, you know, and the person that can help you most and being, and because it's different from watching a diamond than it is from just being around it. So September 12th is going to be a not miss event. We're very excited about it and they're excited about coming up here. Do you have a video that we can run?
We do, and it's going to come up in a minute here. I want to make mention that it's very windy. Dan and Suzanne did this for us
Let's
just
do a
yesterday, and so it's a wonderful video. It's going to be a little bit muffled at times and a little bit out of focus.
And where's
but-
it from? You need to
Let's talk
explain that?
about where let's set it up.
Yeah, this is coming out of Waterton.
Actually, so I'm gonna have Lee come up and introduce what
Yeah.
we're gonna see here.
A number of, and I'll set that up. A number of years ago, because Suzanne's from Canada, she grew up there, and she'll talk about it on this video. But there's anybody ever heard of Glacier National Park?
Oh yeah.
Well, that spans two countries. The Glacial National Park is not just in the U.S; it's in Canada also. Being a national park, there's no new developments going up. But and this is a place when Suzanne was a little child, she used to go there. It is, although I got a glimpse of the hotel. Was it the Prince Charles Hotel or
Yeah.
something? Prince Ed, whatever. Anyhow,
Edward or something. It's
so
gorgeous.
about probably 15 years ago, we watched Suzanne's dream come true because it was a cabin on the lake. Now you can't build these. You can't even expand them. They will come up once every few generations in a family. So maybe every 50, 60, 100 years, one of these places comes up for sale. It came up for sale, not just a place, but the place out on the little point that goes out into the lake. And we watched that come true because Suzanne they built their business to the point where they just bought it. And I mean, to the point of where they just bought it was there was no agent involved. She met with the owner. She said, "How much do you want?" And she said, "Just leave everything, silverware, everything in the drawers. How much do you want?" He told her, and she wrote a check. And they bought it. So this is a place. This is where we're talking from. Is where the video's from.
Right, and Waterton is just a little bit over the border of the United States. It's in Canada, just over the border of Montana and Canada. And I took a look at pictures on Google. If you go to Waterton, Canada on Google Maps, you're going to get to see a whole bunch of photos of it there as well. But we're going to show a video now of Dan and Suzanne. And they're going to talk a little bit about Waterton. Now, again, as I mentioned, it's really windy there, so sometimes the sound will be a little muffled. You may not be able to hear, and it's a little bit fuzzy. But it's a great video, and you're going to really enjoy it. So I'm going to get that started right now.
Are we gonna be able to have that on the big one?
No.
Okay, so we'll be
Okay, so
looking here.
cluster around.
And any chance that we can have this up on YouTube for a few days?
Oh yeah,
on the team builder,
yeah.
on our Facebook page.
You bet, absolutely.
Yeah.
So let me see if I can't get this started for
Okay.
the remote folks first. A little video. It's about 11 or 12 minutes.
Why not now for you? Come join the journey.
All right. Now, those guys made that video just for us yesterday.
Yeah.
Fresh. hot
Yeah,
off the
that
press.
was their invitation for all of us to be there. So I would miss it. So we really want to have a great turnout because when they walk in and see you guys in that room, they're going to be more excited than if you're not there. You know, and honestly, I mean, and I don't mean you generic. I mean you individually. They'll come in. Susanna will look at the room, and it's when she sees your face, she's going to be more excited to be there than if you're not there. That's the best way I can put it.
Okay, that is Suzanne's summer retreat. And eventually we will perhaps have a lifestyle video from Suzanne's home
That you've
in
been to.
Alpine, Utah, which I always figured she must have a nice diamond home. But I had the opportunity to stay there once when I was doing a seminar there. And I walked into a place that was like,
In front of Santa Barbara.
yes,
Okay.
it's a home that really belongs in one of these magazines. Phenomenal home inside, just absolutely gorgeous. I pulled this up. This kind of looks like her kitchen there. Lots of copper, lots of granite. And the thing I love about Suzanne, let me ask you here, who's ever heard Suzanne stand up and brag about her home?
Never.
Never.
You know, she's a real authentic person. And when you think about going diamond and you think, I can have that lifestyle and still be an authentic, caring, real person. That is really something to think about, because if you were raised like some people thinking, well, once you get wealthy, then you change, or then you become this, or then you got there because you take advantage of people. Some of us grew up with that kind of thinking. You need to get around Dan and Suzanne to realize that they're the real thing. They're real, loving, courageous people who have a phenomenal lifestyle. She's not had a job since she got out of college. She has her degree in fashion design. She went on to build an Amway business. And this is a woman who's not been just skating through life. She's had problems, heartbreaks, and issues. And those of us who've known her for 20 years can see that she's never been afraid to be vulnerable, to say, hey, I've been hurt. I've had some tough times. But she's never, ever, ever given up on looking at each one of us in the eye and saying, I care about you. Do this, do this, do this. When she's been at her lowest point, she said, do this, build this, do this. When she was at a point where she didn't even know if she was going to have her business at one point, whether someone else was going to take it away from her, she still said, do this. It's worth it. It's worth it. You don't see bitterness. You don't see anything but wanting people to have a dream life. And so you have a chance September 12th to get around her and to get around her and her husband, Dan, and to see that, wow, I'm just seeing the surface of something that's phenomenal. And it's time to go to work, make it happen in our lives. Some of us, I want to recognize who is planning on who has a ticket to go to the Freedom Enterprise Summit in October. Awesome. Great. Great.
I got him sitting.
Woo! All right. That's most of this room.
Two more tickets.
Yeah.
Great.
2 more tickets. 2
All
more.
right. Fantastic. Fantastic. I am so excited about October. Well, September is just going to be a cruise into October, right? It's going to be awesome. People have been working. People have been putting together points on what we call our Blitz scorecard. Who's
Oh,
playing?
wait. Can I say something first?
Wait.
Regarding the Free Enterprise Summit, which is coming up. If you haven't made travel plans yet, there's currently a sale going on Southwest, and I'm just flying in on if you're willing to fly early, I mean, really early on Friday and come back early on Sunday, you can fly for about $200. I can't guarantee that after this weekend. You got to move on it. If you want a little more, if you want a little more, non-stops in mid-morning or something like that, then it's still under $300.
Excuse me, another one is Leach from Stockton.
Oh,
Okay.
thank you.
Great.
All right.
So anyhow, it's that the ticket price, having your ticket is really, really important. But don't get stuck a week before the function saying, well, now it's $450 round trip. Make arrangements and get yourself there. We got a ticket for you.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
But so it's a good chance to do that.
So I'm gonna wrap up my
Yeah.
thoughts with Suzanne. You know, that place we saw there, which you can tell that is a place in her heart. For her to, if she would have had to give that up and watch that leave her family, what a heartbreak. But that was one of the, because they had built their business and they had whatever tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars to write that check. I just want you to think for a moment, what could come up in your life where you needed to write a check, you needed a couple $100,000 for either something that, here's my opportunity, here's this property I've wanted, I can get it, or maybe it's something else. Just that peace of mind of knowing that when things come up, I can handle it. That's a phenomenal life. Right? And that's for you guys. That's for us here. You just claim it. So who's claiming it? Woohoo!
Yeah.
Claim it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So the evidence is in the work that we do on a weekly basis, right? And there's how you build this business is based on how many people you can connect with. And connecting with people, finding out, telling them a little bit about your story, finding out what's their story. Where do you see yourself? What's your next adventure? Where would you be if you could? Finding out, those are great examples of questions. What would you like to have happen? And then that turns into people seeing this business plan or people buying products, people becoming partners, and then the whole cycle repeating again. So we do something called the Blitz, which is major function to major function. What's the name of our Blitz right now?
Touch my dream.
Touch My Dream Blitz, the TMD Blitz. It's not a rap group, it's the TMD Blitz, Touch My Dream Blitz. And every month, then function to function here, we give the Blitz Award to the Team Builders West Blitz Champion monthly. And then this Touch My Dream Blitz started July 12th. And it goes until, here's my Blitz board here, October 24th. You can get the score sheets on the Team Builders West website, and we're keeping track of that. And I'm going to have Alan bring up the scores, but we have two teams going. We have the Wild West team. Who's on the Wild West team? Woohoo! All right. And who is on the True North team? Yeah! All right. And those of you out there, give us your woohoo as well on the chat. So, and you know, Lee Strong did an amazing, very to the point little seminar at our seminar last month. If you can't track it, you can't hack it. So in business, in getting your dreams done, if you can't track it, you can't hack it. We have some amazing trackers in here. Afonso's amazing trackers, Sherry, the Strongs, the Ness and Bell team. You guys, okay, Ness Bell Ness. The Bellnesses. The Bellnesses. I like that. Health and wellness. Yeah. Love and happiness. No, okay. All right. Oh, here they are. That was Al Green for you. All right. So who was participating in the Blitz? If you were online, if you're online and here, we're going to tell you we had are we still tabulating, calculating, formulating?
Cheryl says woohoo.
Woohoo from Cheryl. This is who?
That's Wild West.
For this team? I mean, for this week. All right. This week, 1:30. Okay, secret. Don't look. And
So
time.
you're totaling 4 weeks.
Yes. So do you have, with the True North started off super high, 215 points. Do you have your 4-week total?
Yes, 511 points.
511
Yeah.
points. All right.
Yeah.
Matt and Diane Moore had what about you come and brag on your team right here?
Yes, they had a 62-point week because they got 31 names and numbers.
Wow.
But that's the work.
Yes.
That's the work, guys. That's why we put a point on it. That's the work.
And that was the high week.
Uh-huh.
That was the high week. And then, do you want to know the top?
Yeah.
Okay, so Lee and I came with 134, but right behind us were Lee and Judith with 113.
The Bellness. All right. Okay, fantastic. So
Just 11 points? No, 21 points.
strong in Bellness, right? Neck and neck. And together you're on the same team. So that is
Yeah,
awesome.
so it's all good.
And do you have our totals? Okay.
I don't have it.
I do. I have it. I went to school for this. 3, 4, 5.
Drum rollers?
Yeah. Okay, could be
We're hoping.
425. Sadly, a bit short of the True North, but a good week for us. And we had, hi this week.
I don't know where I put it.
Oh, it's right here. All right. So the Suds had, and then Dan Duran's tied for the high points. Dan Duran's, you're out there in Santa Barbara. You had a 41-point week.
Sherry had 29.
Sherry had a 29-point week.
Yes.
Suds had a 68 week. We're the Suds, you're the Bellness. All right. Got to work out your nickname in this, okay?
Well, say that again. What was your week?
We had a 68-point week.
Wow.
And 69 last week.
Good
Now,
stuff.
in case you're wondering, look at your score sheets and notice that you get a point for every time you do a touch. What's a touch?
Text, email, phone
Any
call.
An email.
contact with
A contact.
Follow through.
A follow through. If you actually get a new name, that's 2 points that you write down.
Yeah.
And then when you call them, that's point. So here's in the grocery store yesterday. Now I look for a connector with people to meet anyone in a scrub outfit. They're mine. Where do you work? And once in a while they say, "Oh, I work in a reptilian veterinary clinic," and I go, "Whoa, wouldn't have guessed that." But they, and then I will I'll connect with them. Can I stay in touch with you? Get their number. Sure. I says, and what's your next adventure? I don't know. She said, I think I've done this and I've done that. And I might be thinking of something with foster kids, but I don't know. I said, let me stay in touch with you. I love that question. What's your next adventure? What's your next career? And then I said, put your name in my phone. She does. And then I said, I'll just text you. You have mine. So I text her right away. And then she texts me back, say, nice to meet you. And I say, yes, I'll be staying in touch with you. So how many points is that?
That's a lot of touches.
It's a lot of touches. So I can't think.
2 points for a new name.
Yeah.
Then I texted her right away.
Touch.
Is a touch. And then she called me back and I said, and I recognized that she answered me back.
Yep.
So that's 1, 2, 3, that's 4 points. Are you getting it? You're doing more than you're
You
giving
book a
credit
plan,
for.
it's 2 more.
Yeah.
Anytime there's a meaningful communication between you and
Yeah.
someone else. Could be a customer,
Have
could
you
be
not been
a
giving yourself credit for that? Okay.
customer, a prospect, a touch.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, but no, the fact that I sent someone a text,
Yes.
yeah, it's a touch, but I would say like a meaningful connection where there's a
If it's meaningful to you, it's
Yeah.
meaningful. I never
Yeah.
send a non-meaningful text. They all have a meaning. So
yeah.
yeah.
Well, you're building a relationship.
Yes.
So
You know-
the I think and the whole idea is to recognize that everything you do in your business means something. There's nothing too small that it's insignificant. Everything means something and needs to be
Mhm.
tracked and recognized. And because when you do that, one of two things will happen. Either you'll have an excuse why nothing's happening, or you won't have an excuse. But it's good.
Questions?
I just wanted to say this is not an excuse to or a directive to hammer people.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I think this is
Oh.
important. These touches are light, they're friendly, they're interested,
Yeah.
they're
Mhm.
next step kind of things. They're
Yeah.
not the opportunity to dump features and benefits, pitch somebody. That's, you know,
Oh, yeah.
Because this is
Over and over
fun.
again.
This is fun, and these
Right.
points are great. But these points there's no bonus attached to these points other than the ones that, as you grow your business, you're rewarded
Mhm.
for it.
Yes.
So so behavior that doesn't grow your business.
Yeah.
This is the whole point here, is to promote, recognize, track,
So
and
Brad,
create activity.
Brad Haven said 4 to 6
Oh.
touches until he sponsors somebody.
Yeah.
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 Could be 1, could be 10.
Yeah.
One of those would be a plan, one would be, maybe 3 would be follow throughs, but some of
Yeah.
them are just establishing some kind of rapport,
Oh,
Mhm.
definitely.
showing interest.
And remember, when you know about people, when you know about people's needs and they say, and I've been meaning to this, when you find out, say, I read a good book I think you'd like,
Mhm.
and I'll send them the name of this book.
I do that.
If they say, yeah, my kids go to, that school, and where do you kids? I said, oh, I loved the school our kids went to. What school did they go to? Oh, I'll text you that. It's because I want to offer people value and recognize that there's things that I can share with them. This business is one of those things. Denise, you had a question as well?
No, I was gonna say, we brought somebody here.
Oh, so please intro.
Myself? Yes.
Yes.
Tell us who you are.
Yeah, your name and what brought you here. Come on, yeah, please.
Yeah,
Please, come on here. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very good. All right. And look right there. Say hi to the folks. Hey, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Jason.
Hi, Jason.
But I haven't really. I haven't spent that much time in front of a camera in a while. But I'm Jason Lowe. Actually, I'm a former and current foster youth. So I kind of grew up in foster care. So I started off in the slums with very little I had. I sacrificed my childhood for my sister. I had to raise my sister because my parents could not. And so over the years, I struggled in school and all that. I was not a straight A student. But my last years of high school, I decided I want to open up something for foster youth, something to give them because, as a foster youth, you're discriminated. Foster youth have a bad reputation. We're bad kids. We're into drugs, and 95% of high schoolers drop out as foster youth.
Wow.
Most of us don't even move on to college, and the college graduates that are foster youth is 0.02%.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Unfortunately, I needed some help. So I gathered up my strength. I gathered up the people in my community, and I opened up a chapter of a nonprofit organization called California Youth Connections up in my county of Calaveras County. I am now at the head chapter of that, and I am also ahead of a couple of other chapters. I moved up very quickly and very fast because I have dedication and devotion. And experience. And
life.
Hearing other people's stories is one of the most beneficial things. I now strive to become a child psychologist and a therapist. I actually have a job that is also taking time off my college years by allowing me to intern with them. I'm really making a difference in people's lives. And that's what I want to do. I want to make a difference in other people's life. I made a difference in my sister's life. I made a difference in my other brother's life. And I've definitely made a difference for my half sister. I'm so excited to be part of something big, but yet I'm so small. So I started out as a ripple. Now I'm coming in as an ocean. But I'm here to learn. I want to learn. I thirst for knowledge. I always decide to continue to keep learning. And whenever I learn, I share things. And so that's what I kind of want to do.
We want to help you, Jason.
Thank you.
I think mind is gonna be blown when you get to Las Vegas and see that you'll be around people who've had their hopes
I won't be in
raised.
Las Vegas. I'll be in Georgia.
You can send, then work with your team. You can send some partners there.
I don't think that's possible.
There's a reason behind it.
Yeah, I joined the National Guard,
Uh-huh.
and so I got basic training October 6th.
Uh-huh.
So I literally cannot have connection with the outside world for the next 16 weeks.
And when do you go to boot camp?
October 6th.
Six.
Oh.
Basically.
About a month away.
About a month away.
A
Yeah.
lot can happen in a
I can
month.
tell you a lot can happen in a month. So never say
It
never.
won't change
Work
your,
with them.
yeah, just
Yeah.
talk to your team.
Talk to your team.
Because it's the one thing that we really, really believe in, and we've always talked about, is that the more you can't, the more resources you have, the more you can help other people. And our business is based on helping other people. And the more resources we have, the more you're able to support things that are dear to your heart like that.
You're a difference maker, Jason.
Yeah.
We can tell. So thank you for sharing that.
No,
That's
thank you.
awesome.
Miracles happen.
All right, very great. Okay, so we need the strong team to come and receive your award.
Thank you, team. We got it back.
Yay, we got it back. Yeah, right on.
Now help us keep it.
Right in front of the camera.
There you
All
go.
right.
Okay.
And let's, you guys want to introduce what we will be
Do
doing
you know, I think the interview game is redundant after what Susan so brilliantly did.
Oh,
Yes.
great. Okay,
So I
so
think-
we're going to
I
wind
think we're
up.
good.
I think we can wind up, and anybody who wants a tour of our RV who's here,
Oh, yeah.
we will.
Yeah.
This has been great. This has
Yeah,
been
I want to thank Alan and Chris for doing
Yes.
such a stellar job tonight. Chris, you were awesome. Absolutely awesome. I want to thank Susan for coming up. Robin and Rich did a great job tonight. And I love everybody here. This is just such a great group of
And
folks.
everybody there.
And everybody there. Everybody there.
And Chris's plan, which was phenomenal, some of you were still in transit because of traffic getting here, will be accessible
Yeah.
on YouTube.
Yes.
So
We
if
will
you
post
want
a link.
to, Jason, if you want to show a plan by an emerald, you can show it to someone you know
Yes,
on YouTube.
exactly. Exactly.
So this is
So-
anything.
That's it. I think we're going to wrap it up. Good night.
Left you. 1,
2, 3.
Woo!
All right.
I'll see you again.